election observer. Previously, I have observed elections in Africa and in Europe. And as a political scientist, I know the importance of a trusted and credible electoral processes for any country's democratic journey. And here I would like to stress, international election observers, like our team here in Bangladesh, can support democracy, can strengthen respect for human rights and rule of law. Now a few words about our mission. I will start with underlining that throughout the mission we will employ a robust and well-established methodology of a long-term nationwide observation. Our mission began its work in late December of the last year with the arrival of a core team of 10 election experts. Today, as we speak, 56 long-term observers are arriving in Dhaka. They will be briefed, and next Saturday will be deployed to all divisions of Bangladesh to follow election preparations and campaign in all 64 administrative divisions of the country. In the days leading up to the elections, we will be joined by additional 90 short-term observers and other observers from diplomatic missions of the EU member states, but not just the EU member states, but also Canada, Norway, and Switzerland. A delegation from European Parliament, meaning my own colleagues from the European Parliament, will also reinforce the mission closer to the polls. At full strength, the mission will comprise some 200 observers from all 27 EU member states, Canada, Norway, and Switzerland. This broad participation reflects the EU's commitment to democratic processes and its partnership with Bangladesh. And here I want really to extend my thanks to our non-EU partners who have joined in this mission, the representatives who are also here, the representatives of Canada, Norway, and Switzerland. Now it's time to outline the methodology we will employ. The mission is here to assess the extent to which elections are conducted in compliance with national law, as well as the regional and international standards Bangladesh has signed up to. The mission will observe and analyze the legal framework, the work of the electoral administration, the campaign environment, and the conduct of candidates and their supporters. We will also weigh the trust in the accuracy of the voter register and in the electoral dispute resolution process. We will assess the overall space for political and civic participation, as well as the inclusivity of the process. The European Union Observation Mission will equally pay close attention to the role of media in the campaign and to election-related conversations on social networks. Our mission has 2 dedicated monitoring units. One will analyze TV and radio broadcasts and printed press, so-called traditional media, while the other will focus on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Our media and social media monitoring will assess the extent to which those different channels are helping voters to make a well-informed choice. On the 12th of February, all our observers will follow the election day proceedings from early morning hours when the polling centers will open till the end of the ballot count and the tabulation of the results. I want to emphasize, and this is important, the European Union was invited to observe the parliamentary elections by the Bangladeshi authorities, and our technical assessment of the electoral process will be guided by 3 key principles: independence, impartiality, and non-interference. We observe, we do not interfere. We do not administer elections. We do not certify results. And we are not here to rectify any shortcomings. These elections belong solely to the people of Bangladesh. All EU observers are bound by a strict code of conduct that requires neutrality and non-interference. We come as a partner, as we say, fresh pair of eyes to look exclusively at the electoral process. I can assure you that the mission will deliver an impartial, fact-based assessment and will observe without intervening or without supervising. We hope that the upcoming election will be transparent and inclusive, conducted in a peaceful manner that will allow all voters to maintain confidence in the process. Transparency and clarity are important for each and every stage of the elections. It is also one of the core values of our election observation mission. Therefore, everyone will be able to see and follow our mission's work. On our social media accounts, we will regularly post about our meetings here, whom we meet, when we meet, and so on and so forth. In Dhaka, in other cities, also in towns and villages. More detailed information will be regularly placed on the mission's website. And that's why please do try the QR code, which is located below me on the stage, to get connected. This is how we will be reachable. 2 days after the elections, on the 14th of February, the mission will present its initial findings at a press conference here in Dhaka. I will respond to all your questions and queries, and our statement on the 14th of February is going to be published online. Our mission will remain in Bangladesh until the entire electoral process is completed. Then, at a later stage, usually about 2 months after the election, I will return to Bangladesh and will present a comprehensive final report, which will also include recommendations for future elections. I'm really honored to have been given this opportunity to lead the EU electoral observation mission and to witness these historic elections. Since my arrival in Dhaka on Thursday, I have held series of meetings and discussions with electoral stakeholders. These discussions have been invaluable in understanding the context and preparing for our work. In addition to the meetings related to the elections, I also have talked to young voters who will cast their ballots for the first time. And I also have visited important places to honor and to understand the rich cultural heritage of Bangladesh. My team and I have been warmly received by all our partners here, for which I am sincerely thankful. Let me conclude by stressing once again, these elections are crucial to fortify democratic institutions through the ballot box. Hence, it will be important that these elections are conducted peacefully, in a transparent and inclusive manner, and that all voters and candidates retain confidence in the process and in the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the European Union Election Observation Mission will provide a thorough, impartial, and objective assessment. It is my hope that our work will contribute positively to the credibility and transparency of these elections, and will reinforce the confidence of the Bangladeshi people in their democratic institutions, and will strengthen the respect for human rights and for the rule of law. These elections are a significant milestone for Bangladesh's democratic journey. The European Union stands alongside the people of Bangladesh in a spirit of partnership, accompanying and not directing this process. Thank you very much for your attention. I am now happy to take any questions you might have. Thank you very much.
So the way it works is we are going to collect 3 questions at a time in a block. And may I ask you to introduce yourself by name, and please let us also know for which media outlet you work. So we start with a gentleman here in the front in the light shirt. Microphone is coming.
Yes, I'm Imran from Daily Degonto. As I understand that you have arrived Bangladesh, one of the advanced team have arrived Bangladesh earlier, and you have interacted with the different political parties. So, may I know what kind of issues they have raised about the election, how confident they are about the election process, and is there any uncertainty of holding the election on February 12th? Thank you.
Do you want to gather 3 of them?
Yes, we gather 3. The gentleman here in the second row, please.
Excellency, my name is Panthur Rahman. I work for a television channel, Channel I. My question is, how does your team will assess the independence, as you said, and capacity of the Election Commission of Bangladesh during the election period? Thank you.
The third question we take from the lady on all the way on the other end.
Excellency, my name is Ishat Jahan Urmi. I work for DBC News. If I ask you just one main challenge for this election, what do you think? What the main challenge? One challenge, if I ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all these three extremely relevant questions. The first one, what issues have been raised by the political parties? I mean, of course, we have discussed all the context where this election is taking place, but as I look at the political parties I have met, and there are just a few of them, this is a process. We are continuing tomorrow, and also after that, what really positively makes an impact on me is that they are very expressly devoted to really having a credible and participatory election, which to my mind is really good. As for the later process, of course, we are going to observe how it's going to evolve. And of course, we should also take into account that since 2008, no credible and competitive elections have taken place in Bangladesh, which means that many things have to be, if you want, reintroduced and re-debated. As for the Central Electoral Committee, the initial impression is that we value their transparency and their openness, also in working with us. As for the later work we have just started, we will pay our attention to both legal aspects that are very important for us, how the law is being followed, but nevertheless, in that sense, this is what we are here to observe. The impartiality also of the authorities, including, of course, the Central Electoral Commission. As for the one main aspect, I have to say, and one main issue, this is, as in many countries, including my own and other European countries, the central issue is to gain the trust and confidence of the citizens. This is, to my mind, really the most important thing that this whole process should be devoted to. And in that sense, we think that our mission's contribution should be of some value, because we are really here to support this really historic elections.
We have a question here in the third row at the corner.
Sir, this is Mishu. I work for Jamuna TV. It's a 24/7 news channel. My question is about how do you have assessed the law and order situation right now here in Bangladesh? And what about level playing field? Most of the political parties claimed that they don't get the level playing field. So what's your assessment so far?
The next question, this gentleman on this side.
Hi, it's Tanzim Anwar here. Yes, it's Tanzim Anwar. I do work for our state-owned news agency. I'd like to ask you two questions. What's your observation? Do you think that the Election Commission is working totally independently? And my second question is, what's your observation? The current situation of Bangladesh is conducive for a free and fair election.
The third question is a lady in, yes, exactly, the one raising the hand. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nafisa Doula from Independent Television. Transparency International Bangladesh is an organization in Bangladesh who work in corruption transparency. They already raised the questions that why Bangladesh government spend money on European Union election observation commission. They don't have enough budget. They asked about that question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again. As for the law and order situation, we all know that this has been an issue in many countries, including Bangladesh, and we are also paying attention to that. And as for my first impression with talking to Bangladesh authorities is that they are aware of the risks, and what is the most tricky thing in this situation is really to keep the balance. On the one hand, to really have effective law enforcement agencies in place. On the other hand, of course, protecting also the free expression, free right of association. And in that sense, this is what we are going also to pay attention to, how this balance is being kept. As for the level playing field, this is again an issue we are going to pay attention to in many aspects. This is, for example, we are monitoring the access to media. Which is an issue in many countries, how much each and every candidate gets an access to the relevant media. This is also some other aspects of the level playing field, including, for example, the registration of candidates. We know that the appeal process is still going on. This is what we are going to observe. As for the question about the Central Electoral Committee, again, our first impression is openness and transparency. As for their further work, I think for us it's a little bit too early to make any conclusive statements on this. As for, your second question, I think that that is why we are sending this. The EU is sending the electoral observation mission to Bangladesh. Is that I think that the perception is that Bangladesh is capable of having really credible participatory elections in order to move forward as a democratic country. And here I move to the last question about the European taxpayers' money being spent on as this electoral observation, which is absolutely credible question. Why do we do that? You all know that the world is in a rather turbulent state right now, and the EU needs its partners in many ways, and Bangladesh has been and hopefully will be an important partner in many ways, including investment, trade, combating climate change. And as for let me just emphasize that we are not receiving any funding from the Bangladeshi taxpayers. This is a European self-funded issue. And well, just to get back to that issue on the taxpayers' money. Well, in order to have those partners, we have to have a permanent link with democratic rule of law based countries, with our predictable partners in cooperation, in investment, in trade, and in some other issues that are at the center of our cooperation. And that's why this is a tradition. As I said at the very beginning, we are sending approximately up to 10 electoral observation missions a year to our partners all over the world. Thank you.
The question here, second row on the, thank you.
It is Shahidul Islam Chaudhry. I work for Deshopantar. It's a Bengali language daily. After the announcement of the election schedule, the district administration and the police administrations are technically under the election commission. But these two institutions are capable of manipulating the election and the election process and the electoral results, and had earned bad name in last few elections, especially the 2018 election. So, what is your initial impression about the intention or capacity of the district and Upazila election administration and the police administration as a whole? Thank you.
Well, of course, we will take into account the historical context when these elections are taking place, also in terms of this transition since the July uprising up until the very election day, which has been a very turbulent time. We have been analyzing the legal framework. We have been also talking to the authorities about this issue. But again, for me, it's a little too early to give any impressions because, for example, if you're talking about the regions, I haven't been outside Dhaka for these days because I have been meeting people only here. But let me emphasize once again, this is an important question because we know that this is not a very regular situation in the Bangladeshi history because of the previous period and then July uprising and then the transition process. Yep.
Then we had a question on this side, the gentleman with the shawl. No, in front of you, Thank you.
My name is Sifat Kabir and I work for Deshkar News. In short, it's DN. My question is, since your arrival in Dhaka, you have met several politicians, government officials, I believe. So what's your primary assessment on the ground level before the election? What do you think, your primary assessment?
Well, I'm taking apparently them one by one. So
the gentleman in the blue jacket, please.
Thank you. My name is Moshe Hasib. I work for Channel 24. So, how do you see the deep fake issues on social media and how these issues will be used in this election? And what are your capacities in terms of sorting these digital propaganda issues? That's my first question. The second part of the question, is there any concern on the pre and post-election violence in the upcoming one?
And then let's take the third question, the gentleman in the third row, second chair. Yes.
Thank you. This is Mustafiz. I work for New Age. It's English Language Daily. You have mentioned that your expectation is election will be inclusive and participatory. Would you explain the term inclusive election or participatory election? What do you mean by it? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. First of all, again, as for the initial assessment is meeting the political parties is, again, I have just met two of them, and this process is still ongoing. But the first positive thing I have to mention is that they are really devoted to having a credible election without any also violent upheavals. As for the social media, first of all, about our capacities, we have a special social media monitoring unit which will be working on this. As for whether there are any solutions or recipes from our side, there are not, because coming from the EU, you might know that the EU itself has quite a big issue with this legislation. How do you deal with big platforms with issues like hate speech, with issues like harassment, like issues of extensive use of artificial intelligence? I think that hopefully at the end of the day we will arrive to some kind of a global regulation for those platforms. But as for now, I think that the only way is to first of all to talk to them and to engage them in order to limit the potential malign impact. And on the other hand, also promoting those groups, fact-checking groups, and journalism that is supporting quality information for our citizens before the elections. As for pre or post-election violence, this has been, of course, an issue when talking with my local interlocutors. We know that this is, a problem in many ways, but I still hope and I still expect that the Bangladeshi authorities have a resource to address that, and also that the main stakeholders in this elections are understanding the seriousness of this issue, because, as it was said, one life lost is one life too many lost. And as for the inclusive participatory, this is an important issue. I think that inclusive means, from our perspective, first of all, inclusion of all social groups of Bangladeshi citizens, groups like women, groups like ethnic, religious minorities, and also the regional groups, to participate them. And participatory is also the what we are really looking forward to have a credible turnout for those elections, which would also signal us that Bangladeshi citizens are really using this democratic process to decide their own future. Thank you.
So we have the first question, third row at the aisle, please. And the second question on the second row.
Yeah. Hi, this is Wahid Ezas. I represent Prothom Alo. So I have two questions precisely. When you emphasize on the peaceful, transparent and inclusive election, you emphasizing on the role of media. So in last 17-18 months, we see a larger amount of challenges from the social media, be it Facebook, YouTube, or anything else. When you emphasizing on the freedom of media, when someone reporting objectively, that outlet or individuals either were tagged or shamed in the social media and something like that, whether you have interacted with the stakeholders, these sort of issues was raised by, be it a political party or any other actors. That is one part of the question. And the second part is that this is for the first time we are going to witnessing a simultaneous election, both for the parliament as well as the referendum. Whether, what is your impression after having interacting with the stakeholders, whether they saw sort of challenges in regards to the referendum? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is Porimal Palma from the Daily Star. So I have actually two questions. One is, you said that you expect the elections, every stage of election to be transparent. You know that election funding is plays a very important role in elections. And how do you actually monitor this, assess this?
Excellency, my name is Mohsin. I work for Daily Shamokal. So my question regarding, I have two questions very precisely. My question regarding, first of all, regarding the inclusivity and the participation. I mean, last 15 years, whenever the election took place in Bangladesh, we heard from the European ambassadors regarding the inclusivity and participatory means the participation of all political parties in Bangladesh. And now suddenly the explanation got changed, and you are saying actually all the groups of Bangladesh. Actually, what do you actually mean? Whether the participation of the political parties or only the groups, I mean the minority groups, the social groups and other groups. And my second question is regarding, I mean, to give you information, to buy an Airbus, few of the European ambassadors actually expressed their dissatisfaction on the government. So will it have any impact on the election observation result? Thank you.
What was the last question? Okay. Well, first of all, well, these are very, very good questions, all of them. And as for how do we look at this, elections taking place together with a referendum. We all know that this is not a very usual practice, but it happens. For example, in my own country, which is Latvia, it has happened that we make a referendum together. So in that sense, of course, what we will really observe is the main thrust is going to be the parliamentary elections and not the referendum, because this is kind of outside of our mandate. But since these two processes are interlinked, of course, what we are going to pay attention to is this issue, how informed citizens are in making their decisions, also in regards of the referendum, because this has been an issue in many countries, and that's why we are going to pay a special attention to it. As for the election funding, which was raised by the colleague from the Daily Star, I think that there are two elements of that. The first one is, of course, we are looking at that from the point of view of the national legislation, which is also different among the countries. And we are paying attention to to what extent it is being observed and to what extent it's being implemented. As for our recommendations after the elections, which are going to come later on, we might, and well, to make some recommendations and observations on this particular question as well, because we all know that the excessive influence of money on the election result is a problem for all democracies. As for the intimidation of minority groups, this is, of course, an important issue, because as a European Union we have always defended the gender equality and also, of course, the participation of women, but also the participation of other minority, not other, but not just women, but also minority groups. But in that sense, we are going to send our observers to all 64 districts of the country, and they will be asked to pay special attention to such a possibility that such processes might take place. As for the inclusivity of as one of the questions that have been raised, inclusivity, it means, well, everything. It means both the capacity of citizens to cast their votes and to be counted in a fair and good way, but also, of course, the participation. From that perspective, we all know that, well, the party registration is an issue, and we all know that this has been also historically a very complicated issue here regarding the issues of national reconciliation and transitional justice. We are not going to comment on these issues, but of course we are going to pay attention to it as long as it makes an impact on the election, on the turnout, on things like that. So we are not here to comment on the context of historical context of these elections, but of course we know about that and we take it into account. So thank you very much for being here. We are looking forward to have an intensive, the ambassadors. Okay. First of all, again, I feel bound by my mandate, which has been given not by esteemed colleagues, ambassadors here, but by the European External Action Service, and my task is to provide a really impartial, objective, neutral assessment of those elections, and not listening to this or that official, honorable as all they may be. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. This concludes our press conference. We have a press release outside together with our fact sheet that contains all the important information about our mandate and methodology. In a few days we will deploy our long-term observers. This will be also available to the media. We will warn you accordingly. And then on the 14th of February, 2 days after election day, we will present our preliminary statement also in a press conference with our chief observer. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon.